Alright, so several days later, after checking out how much current and everything all my stuff is using, I ordered me some stuff to get these batteries going. I will be having to put them in the pass-through compartment because they just won't fit on the tongue. So it sucks because that means I have to put them in the pass-through compartment, and I had all that space really figured out how I wanted it, and I could fit everything I wanted. So I am going to have to make some modifications. I'm not sure how I'm going to pull that off. Putting the batteries in isn't the issue. It's the fact that it was already like packed as full as you could get it. So something has to go. Here's what we got, and I got all this stuff from Amazon. And check out my channel, please check out my channel. If you're buying the stuff anyway, I really would appreciate you buying it through my Amazon store. It kind of gives me some motivation to keep making these videos. I don't make much money on them, but at least I know somebody appreciates them when you show some love by shopping through my Amazon store. I do appreciate that. So with that being said, I bought Group 27 battery trays that will be mounted in the pass-through compartment. I bought extension. I don't want to totally rewire everything. So what I plan on doing is putting terminal mounts and just running wires back into the camper from the wires that are externally out of the camper. I don't want to change the cutoff switch location. I don't want to change any of that. That's just too much work. I want to keep it simple. So I am adding 6 foot of wire that will go back into the pass-through compartment. So that's what I got there. My Battleborns did come with a switch that allows you to toggle off and on the heater. It was all on the pack with the heater cable, so you can see that switch in there, that little black thing. But you have to mount it. I bought this, again, off Amazon, thejohnnyoshow.com/promotions. This has a self-adhesive backing on the switch. It's self-enclosed, so I can use this switch and just stick it to like the wood frame I have under there or something without having to figure out how to mount a rocker switch that's not in its own case. So that's my switch that I'm going to use to turn on and off the battery heaters. Then we got this. Some battery terminal mounts, positive and negative. So these I'm going to mount up front on the tongue area, which we'll figure out in a moment, and I'll run the current negative and positive that would normally go to the battery to these, and then run these back to the compartment with these 6 foot cables. This cable here is for I'll have to spray paint it black. This is supposed to be on the negative lead. This is going to be for the shunt that I ordered for my battery monitor. So yeah, oops. So here it is. This is gonna help answer all my problems. So before you go and spend, you know, 50 bucks on a battery meter that doesn't do everything you want, just spend 75 more and get this. This is made by Victron Energy. So it's not $200 for this thing. This is the Bluetooth without the display. Now you can always add the display stuff later, right here. This is 125 bucks on Amazon. Again, you can find it on my Amazon store. It's 500 amps. This is more than enough, okay? You just use it directly to your phone. For 125 bucks, just do it right and buy the Victron. Don't buy some generic piece of garbage that really won't tell you everything you need, when for $75 more you can just at least do this. So this is what I got. It's the Victron Bluetooth. It doesn't come with a display. It just connects directly to your phone, and that's really all you need. And it'll give you all the analytics that you want regarding your power usage. And of course it comes with all its little cables here. I've got everything I need now to get the batteries finally installed. I got these battery terminals installed. I just mounted them right here. I put a little bit of this orange thread locker on it, and you will see these two and this lead here went to the battery, and then I have my new 6-foot cable running underneath here, right down there. And then here's my 6-foot negative cable running down there. These 3 leads right here went to the negative pole on the battery. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to drill a hole in the floor here for this. The batteries are actually right about here, and I can't drill here because there's this, and maybe I should have got 8-foot cords, but I really didn't want to go too carried away with length, considering the amperage that could be going to these, right? So I could run up here and then back through. So what I'm trying to do right now is just figure out where on earth I'm going to have to drill this hole up above. As long as I put the batteries this distance out, there's my stove. My stove is in place, and so there's room for the stove and my toolbox on the other side. So these battery trays can go right here. But again, I got to figure out where I'm going to drill this hole. Ideally, I was thinking right around here to drill the hole, but I need to just make sure that's not coming out right where the water tank is underneath. Let's just analyze this here. So here's the tank right here. The support for it is right there where these screws are. These screws right here. So that's the support for the tank. So anywhere forward of that is going to clear. If I come straight up, we're good. So if I put the hole as close as possible to the batteries right here and come up, I know I'll clear the tank. Now I got to just make sure I'll clear any beams and stuff underneath. So let's measure that. And we'll just put it right there at the corner of the battery. We'll just say roughly, what is that? Roughly 25.5 inches. Okay, so let's see what we got underneath. So the beam to the edge, I've got basically, we'll just say 12.5 inches. This is 2 inches. So if we go in roughly 13.5 inches, will I hit anything? It's all clear there, actually. So if I drill there, that should be as safe as any, I would speculate. Let's see, there's something right here. What's right there? See, it could be, I could be guessing for anything. I'm gonna just have to cut this open and peek before I do this. So I'm gonna measure roughly where I need to do. I'll cut it with scissors and I'll look inside, because there's some kind of beam right here. All right, so it is just wafer board right here. There's a little layer of insulation. This is wafer board. I measured 5 inches from this tank, roughly, and 10 inches from this beam. That should, I think, roughly put me in that spot. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill a hole up this way first, and if it's not, then I just have a little tiny hole I'll have to patch in the linoleum if it's not the right place. So here goes nothing. Alright, there it is. That's where the hole came up. Let's see how it comes through the tray. Wow, look at that. Right where it needed to be. Look at that. So there's the hole. So now I'll put my hole saw on. I'll cut back the other direction. Alright, so we got it ran up, and now you're probably asking me, well, that's all great and dandy, but what do you do with the big giant hole, right? That's an easy fix. But before we deal with that hole, let's tidy up some of our wires. Basically, I want to just tie these up a little better, being there's a little excessive play in them. Add those up out of the way. Now, let's go underneath. So we got these now fastened here. And as you know, we got the giant hole right here. So what do we do with that? Well, that's actually pretty easy. If you notice, this is how Rockwood patches holes. This is just that foam that expands, but it's a different version than the normal stuff you're used to buying. I got this again from Amazon, and you can find it on my store, thejohnnyoshow.com/promotions, and you'll find this along with other products I've been talking about. And this stuff is specifically designed for exterior. Basically, it's indoor, outdoor, marine, and automotive black foam. So I'm gonna use this to fill that hole. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit on this side. All right, let's use some of this to fill up this wheel well in here. Alright, there we go. That way that won't be quite as drafty. It was pretty drafty from there before, so we just, rather than just waste what's left, we might as well use some of it. Alright, this foam is set up. I got my battery trays in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and set the batteries in and strap them down and then hook them up. There's one, and there's two. Now, the reason I set them this way is I didn't want every time I brake and accelerated the batteries to be wobbling like this. They have a potential of having turns work against them, but I figured overall you're going to be taking sharp turns slowly and normal turns are going to be gradual, like turns on a highway. If you had to slam on the brakes, I'd rather have the batteries in this direction parallel with the direction of the trailer. So if I had to do a hard brake or something, they don't tip as easily. That was my reasoning on putting the batteries in this direction. So now I'll go ahead and hook up my leads. So I got my Bluetooth smart shunt right here. This is the red wire. I went ahead and just painted it black. I ordered the wrong color. I did have to drill it out. I ordered these 5/16 because that's the bolts that come with the batteries. But this shunt is 3/8. So this jumper is 3/8 on one end, 5/16 on the other. But the 6-foot wire that I bought was 5/8, so I had to just drill it out. It was really soft and easy to drill out, so I drilled it out to just be exactly the right fit for this. So this goes to the system, which goes out there, and then this goes to the negative terminal on the battery, and then this will be the positive terminal that I need to pick up to the system. Next, before I do that though, I need to run the power for the shunt. I need to run the power and the switch for the heaters. There we go, all hooked up. Power running to the smart shunt. Negative on this battery, positive on this battery. Switch for heater. One is on, 0 is off, but it's nice and sticky and sticks right there where it can get ripped off someday very easily. No, I think actually that'll be fine. It's actually pretty secure. All the wires are buttoned up. I do have to tie some of these wires down. I got these wires tied out of the way pretty much. So that's all good. So yeah, we should be good. We got power showing in the camper. So there we go. All in all, that only took me maybe 2 hours complete from start to finish to do all of this once I knew how I was going to do it. Like I say, the only sucky part is I've now lost this space. Now potentially I can probably put a shelf here that goes like right here or something and still put chairs up there, but I got to figure out what to do because this space is gone. That's the only sucky part with this. The space is gone. So, and there's nowhere else to put these batteries. All this is completely full behind there. There's no room, and they're too big to fit up front. But basically, I just use that spray foam to fill up the hole, ran it through, ran the positive and negative right through, and put them right to these terminal spots right here, so that I didn't have to rewire any of this other crap. So it was pretty easy as far as the wiring point of view. So that's good. Now that I've entered in all the specs on this battery, it says that running these lights would last 2 days and 18 hours if I just ran the lights. So that's cool. It is saying I'm drawing 3 amps.